Hi there, welcome back to Not Another Budget. I'm Nicole, and on this channel I'm attempting to cash budget my way out of debt and fix several years of financial misbehaviour. And today it is time for a very significantly, all of the berries overdue prepping video. Now, I consider myself to be prepping adjacent, and I would say that the prepping community is as vast as the budgeting community is for schools of thoughts, methodologies, ways of doing things, and varying opinions about how, when, why, and should you even prep at all. I keep an extended pantry cupboard. I regularly dip into my preps to bulk out my food shop when I don't have as much money to put towards food, or whether I want to do a pantry or a freezer clean out. But I've always had something to fall back on, and that is a stash of food. Even when I was a student and all I had was a little 33 litre underbed clear storage, and all I could fit in there was a few extra cans. It's something my family has always done, and I have talked about this in the past. But one thing I have not done and that I really wanted to do and have decided to go ahead and bite the bullet on is a prepping haul series, where I go around and go to supermarkets, kind of all in one places like B&M's and Home Bargains, and I find what you can get for your money, whatever your budget is. If your budget is £5, £10, £15, £25, big £50, okay, I'm going to work through and I'm going to do this. We're starting off with a £5 Sainsbury's shop today, and at the minute Sainsbury's is my supermarket of choice. I really find that if you can utilise Nectar card offers and Aldi price matching, and you spend a little bit of time looking into what you need on the online shop first, I found it to be a really good way of just buying food at the minute, because over here in the UK we are experiencing a cost of living crisis. Our food prices have gone up astronomically, and here's the thing: you might be living on the other side of the world where expensive food has always been a pretty constant state of play. However, up until recent years, wages have kept pace with the cost of your food. That has never been the case in the UK. Our food was cheaper, but our general standard income was lower. Obviously, I know that balance is changing, but some of us have been hit pretty hard by the increased cost of food, because it's not going down. And in fact, you can do your food shop one week, think you know the price of a can of peaches, and you walk in the next week and it's 3 or 4p more. And for some people, some of you who watch this channel, some of you who come to YouTube for advice, okay, 3 or 4p can be a make it or break it as to whether you get an item or not. And the thing is, we don't get warning. We just assume that, and we hope for the best. So you want to start prepping, okay? You've got a spare corner of the cupboard. You know that you would benefit from bulking out, and you've pulled together a spare £5. Because maybe that's all you have to spare and it's something you want to focus on, or B, you're not sure if prepping or being prepping adjacent is for you. Now, in terms of a budgeting prepping queen, you need to go and check out Autumn Budgets for your really hardcore things. She has got it down, and I recommend anyone go over there and check out her channel. But if you are just starting out and you're prepping adjacent like me, this is what I have found for you. Now, the eagle-eyed mathematicians will do all of the maths for me and add this up at the end of the video. But I went in with £5 and went, right, what can I do? Now, there's a couple of strategies, okay? You have to have a plan with things like this, particularly if you are working with £10, £5 or anything in between there. You can go for your tins, and you can go, I'm going to get as many cheap tins as possible. You can go for your packets, and you can go for as many cheap dehydrated packets of noodles that you want. That is absolutely fine, okay? The strategy is yours, but the key thing to remember is, if you are shopping for either yourself, like me, if you're a solo household, or if you have a family, you need to be getting things that you know your family can eat. There is no point going and bulk buying 20 tins of baked beans if no one in your family eats baked beans, okay? You need to be looking for things that you know, if you've got kids, your kids are going to be happy to eat in a pinch if the gas goes out, or you need to, okay? Or you've got to stretch out the month and the food in the cupboards a bit more before payday. So it's worth getting these things. You can either go for, like I've done here, you can do a can run, you can do a soup run, you can do a tinned fruit run, you can do some beans and pulses runs, and you can also meet our good old friend again, the chopped tomato, who's going to appear in many a prepping video, I'm sure, coming up. This is going to be a stretched out series where once or twice a month I will release these types of videos, and we're going to start with £5, okay? And I'm also going to discuss things like, but I catch the bus or I have to walk my shopping home and I don't want to carry all of these cans as well as my shopping. I've got a solution for you as well. This is just a flavour of ideas, and these are all prices that are accurate as of September 2024 when filming. Now you want to make sure you've got a good range of dates on these, and the dates on these vary from July next year all the way to March 2027. So there is a real variance, and you want to make sure that in the cases of your tins, you want kind of no less than 10 months really, but the idea is as longer as possible. Now we do want to be eating this stuff, but we do want to be able to make sure we store it and we get a rotation system going. We're going to talk about that later on in a separate video once we've kind of gone through and done everything. Now, for example, I love my soups. Tin soups and canned soups were an absolute staple of us because my family, although they're fine now, we grew up and there was not a lot of money at all. And canned soups with a little bit of white bread roll we were more than happy with it as kids, particularly in the winter months. Now, gone are the days when your cans of soup used to be less than 40p. You're now paying 62p, and I've picked up a cream of mushroom and a chicken noodle soup here, both 62p for these. Every so often they do go on a clearance offer, and I have picked up a couple before for 50p or less, and also as well if there is any kind of Nectar card or equivalent reward card pricing scheme, keep an eye out for things like that. Tinned fruit is always a good one. I paid 34p for this tin of peach slices in light syrup. I can remember when these were 19p, and again not that long ago either, but I'm trying to show you a range here. You can just go all in on your soups, or you can go in all on these, or your tinned veg, or your chopped tomatoes, or I will show you something completely different. Now these are really, really good if you do have access to a slow cooker. Pop these in with a bit of beef and some carrots and things. They're a really good size and they taste really, really, really nice. Just standard potatoes in water, little new potatoes in water. They're really healthy for you as well, and 37p and you get a fair amount. So I really do recommend these as a staple one. And the Stamford Street Co is just like Sainsbury's very own basic brand, and there is nothing wrong with that at all. Sweet corn upsets me slightly because I can remember when I was going back 12 years now, I can remember getting a can of sweet corn that was about this thick and about this high, and it costing like 17p. Now we're paying 49p for naturally sweet corn in water, and that is about right, I'm afraid. Nothing really we can do about that. Spaghetti rings and tomato sauce, 9p. I can remember paying for these. I miss those days so much. Spaghetti rings and tomato sauce. I'm personally not a fan of baked bean products, so I use these instead. But again, these are a good cupboard staple. Great with toast, great with jacket potato, and you can get a good meal out of that as well. I mean, not good, but it will do in a pinch. Now our pulses and our beans here, we've got our green lentils for 55p, we've got our cannellini beans for 48p, and our butter beans in water for 48p. Now these are really good staples to have. You can make vegetarian chilies, you can bulk them out with many other foods. I know I've got some really fantastic budget home chefs in my comments, so anything that like this that you think you can cook with, leave your suggestions down in the comments below. I know it will be appreciated by people who want some low budget healthy cooking ideas. Great for bulking out meals, like I said, and they store really well, so I always recommend getting some form of pulses and beans in there too. And like I said, the humble chopped tomato in tomato juice, 9p I used to pay for these, 39p now. And that again is like, some of these prices was only 5 or 6 years ago. It's really, really versatile. You don't need me to tell you about these. Chopped tomatoes need to be absolutely featuring, whether you're on a £5 budget at any point or a £50 budget. Chopped tomatoes need to be featuring. I really feel strongly about this. Down here we come to a little bit of protein, and it's really important to not just stick with the processed stuff. Hi. And our boring basics. Hi. We need to make sure we're including some form of protein. If we are a meat eater, we need to be making sure we're accounting for that. So tinned meat, tinned fish and things like that. Tuna chunks at the minute in Sainsbury's, they are price matching Aldi, so this was 65p for tuna chunks in spring water. Some people don't like them in brine or sunflower oil, so it is good to have that alternative, and that's paying for them individually. They've been price matching that for a while, so it's worth kind of taking advantage of. Same for our spaghetti rings and tomato sauce, and same for our chopped tomatoes in tomato sauce. So this is my selection if I had to wander in with £5. Now obviously you could swap these out. You could put the tinned tomatoes, chopped tomatoes back, and you could get an extra pack of fruit, or you could put the soups back and get some more beans. Okay, so it was really versatile, but I wanted to show you a selection of things you could get for around the £5 mark. Now, I hear you, because I've been this person, okay, walking back from the supermarket carrying my bags for life, one in each hand, weighed down in my little shoulder bag, slipping off my shoulder, and just hating my life choices in that moment, because I decided that I was going to be the not smart person who decided I was going to carry all of the extra tins home. So what do? You still want to go in, okay, you've still pulled your £5 out, you're ready to go, and you've made the decision that you're going to try prepping, or you want to try and put a little bit of extra food aside. What can you get instead that's a good alternative for your £5? Now these do not all collectively add up to £5, but we've got things here like a kilogram of white rice for 75p. Don't go and buy obviously multiples of these, it defeats the weight object, but you could get this, and then you could also get your golden vegetable savoury rice for 60p. Again, nice and light on this one. I think the overall weight on this is 105 grams, so you can get a few of those. There are various options out there as well. The good old basic instant noodle, again, 9p I think I used to pay for these, so 28p is rather tragic to see, but these have a general good long life. Are they the healthiest thing in the world? No, but in a pinch do they do, and actually they're a really good starter item for your prepping cupboard, and super light as well, so light, 70 grams on that, so you could get a combination of those three. Okay, you're still under £5, and you've still got a good amount of weight there as well to carry. Another option is your pastas. Again, Stamford Street & Co, 41p for 500 grams of penne pasta. I cook with this all the time. Pasta bakes, freeze it, it's absolutely perfect for things like that. So you've got some mixed weight items, okay, here that you could pair up. So you could, for example, go with these items here. You've got a couple of little tins as well. Let's say we want to keep the beans and we want to get rid of those. Okay, we don't want to carry those with us. Okay, and we choose this. Obviously, my eagle-eyed mathematicians from the budgeting community will be adding this up for me, okay? But you could go in and you could get this instead as your starter. It's going to be much lighter, okay? You can absolutely start prepping with £1. You know, you could get yourself 5 cans of spaghetti rings. Nothing wrong with that. You could start prepping with £5, okay? And you could get a combination. The key thing is that, and there are a few rules which I have, and I'd really love you to follow this as well. Do not take more than you need. Leave something on the shelf for someone else, because there will be someone who will be following behind you at some point in that shopping day who will have scraped together and genuinely scraped together, and I've been that person, and my family have been that person, quite frankly, who've generally scraped together all of the change that they can, and they've gone down, and that's their money for their food, and it might be £5. And if you take the last can of spaghetti rings when you don't need the other 8 that you've put in your basket, okay, Don't be that person. There is more than enough for everyone, okay? And these things will always be there, unless obviously there is a major life event or a major world event, in which case I take everything back. But these things will always be there, okay? Leave something on the shelf for someone else, particularly with our cheaper, low budget ranges, okay? Let's be fair, let's be kind, let's look after each other in these times, because then I do believe that these things come back to you. Throughout this series, okay, we're going to give each supermarket a rating. So let me know down in the comments below. For the selection of very low budget items that you can see here that you could possibly find, obviously I've got my £5 selection, and you can see how you might piece together yours. How are we rating Sainsbury's out of 10? 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, for our £5 prepping food shop. Experienced preppers, let me know what you think. How have you found them? Beginners or preppers adjacent, or people who are prepping curious, or what do you think? Is this a good shout for you, or do you want to see a little bit more? And if you want to see a little bit more, what items would you want to see or would you want to get on a £5 food shop? Now granted, gone are the days when we can wander in and spend 9p on a can of chopped tomatoes and walk out with 10 and there'll be plenty left on the shelf and you still have £4 and 10 pence left to spend. I miss those days. We will then give Sainsbury's an overall rating out of 10 at the very end, and we're going to input some form of ranking system. That's going to require an awful lot of editing and sorting out for me, so excuse this very, very first unedited Sainsbury's video. I'm aware that I'm swaying and I'm rocking, okay? My gimbal broke. Things happened today. It was not a good day, but we're doing really, really well, and we are absolutely thriving now that we are back doing the thing that I really enjoy, which is prepping. This is much overdue, guys. I am getting myself winter ready, and I really hope that you are as well. Let me know down in the comments what you think. The next video in the prepping series is going to be the £10 shop from Sainsbury's. Then we're going to hit the £15, £25, £50, and then we're going to move on to a new supermarket. If there is a supermarket or kind of general all-store place that is within the UK that you want me to check out, let me know. If some places are significantly further afield and they are very local to you, like booths in the Lake District, which I think only exists in the Lake District, it's going to be a little bit hard to do in a hurry, but there should be plenty of content for you to feast your eyes on over the next few months, hopefully. If not, definitely weeks. I am going to go and get myself sorted now, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. Just one last quick scan of everything. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I hope you have a fantastic week wherever you are in the world. Bye bye for now.